Hi, it's Mike from Gear Diary. And I'm here to take a look at the Korg PolySix, which is a recreated virtual analog synthesizer from Korg. The original synthesizer, the PolySix, was out in the 70s, and it was one of the absolute classics of the analog era, and it's been faithfully reproduced here in a lot of the same ways that the Korg, the monosynth, has been reproduced, as well as some of the other synthesizers through time. But this one is it's a polyphonic 6, and really a lot of these naming conventions back from those days were really fairly simplistic. PolySix, which means 6 keys, and when I hit that 7th, it stole my first note. So by having 6 notes polyphony, it took music in a whole new direction. Prior to that, you were just working your way up. You'd have a single note, so that would be monophonic. Or you could then start to have duophonics. Mono-poly was another one of the synthesizer names. But really, by the time you get to the PolySix, you started to have much more functionality, the ability to play chords. Now, at the heart of the PolySix, now just to break out a little bit, you might see things happening on that screen. Where are they coming from? Well, I've got the iRig keys hooked up to it, which again is just a wonderful device. So here, things that you'll see going on, you've got arpeggiators, you've got your octave setting, and great thing is when I hit the button, well, when I get it and hold it, I get a whole different thing, but I can go all the way to the extreme, or bring it, let's see if I can actually get, of course now it's not going to behave, but in general, yeah, wonderful rich middle sound. And then you've got your waveform selector. Triangle wave. Noise. Sawtooth. Noise. Text message. So now here you've got your there's some amount of control over that, and I do like the way that it shows you what's going on. Now, we could get into technical detail on what it actually has in terms of VCOs, VCS, which is voltage control oscillator, voltage control filter, and one of the ways for it to be able to get so much polyphony at a time when computing by analog was really at a premium. These filters were very expensive, and this was an affordable unit, so they sacrificed 2 true oscillators in here per voice by having you modulate one with the other. Now you can hear that is my voltage control filter. Really rips through everything very nicely. And as I turn it down, there we go, keyboard. Envelope generator. Now what this does is actually, now you hear there I have a slow attack, which means I hit my keys in my envelope, which is my frequency response filter, takes a while to appear. If I want it, on the other hand, I can have it immediate. Now you can hear the effect. I turn it off. Dry. This is a chorus flanger effect. You can actually work here. Now in here you've got your key assign mode. You've got up to 6 voices. So right now I'm playing 2 notes at once. So now we've got a unison mode, which means if you just want to play the classic synthesizer would have a single voice mode. So you'd be playing a solo instrument. And that goes back to the good old way back days, early 70s. So now you can do that by assigning only a single voice to this synthesizer. And the reason you might want to do that is if I come up here, you've got a synthesizer, a sequencer, a second synthesizer, and again a second sequencer. So you can actually have multiple instruments going all at once, patched in together. So you might want to say, okay, I'm just going to do this as a solo unit. Put that away. And go into unison mode. And that's just a lot of fun, playing unison mode. Go back to Poly. Now, there's also a whole drum machine. And again, that is just your zone, and this is a drum sequencer. So in theory, you could actually add things on there. Now, if you listen to that, as I went along, when I was playing things, I was messing up what was already established in there, the song, because, again, you have 2 synthesizers, 2 6-voice synthesizers in there, and they're sequencing out an entire tune with bass, with chords, with a little melody on there, and you're just running out of notes. So that's really all there is to that. So in here you've got your drums, like I said, your drum machine. You can work within step mode, you can have sequence mode, you can have different drum parts up to 6. Now you can come over to a mixer, and this is, and there you go, you've got your basic VUs, you've got all of your 2 synths, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drum things, as well as a master. And there you go. So you've got different songs, you've got different ways of exporting, so you can upload and share. And if you recognize this icon, this is actually SoundCloud. You've got the ability to render audio copy, and what audio copy is the ability to play something in full audio mode and have it recorded to patch into GarageBand or something like that. Got different connection things, and it also supports the wonderful new tool which I'll be covering soon called Audio Bus. Now we've got a bunch of notifications which I really don't need to get into. For SoundCloud, you've again got your song or pattern mode, as well as a number of settings that you can play. But ultimately, where this thing really shines is right here. It's got a great drum thing, it's got a great sequencer, but it's got a beast of a synthesizer engine, dual PolySix sound engines in here. You can really crank it out, have a great analog time playing around. So, back to the song. And this is Mike from Gear Diary. Thanks for listening.